Spiderslayer5 here, and today I'm bringing you guys just something a little different, something I haven't done on my channel yet, and I'm going to be telling you guys a personal story about a past experience I've had in my life. Now, I wouldn't say I've had the most interesting life, but I have a couple of interesting things and funny experiences, and some sad experiences too, of course, but I'm not going to talk about those. But I got some funny things that I've done in my life or that have happened to me, and I felt like, you know what? Why not I share a couple of them with you? I'm not gonna go super in depth with them because I do like my privacy. And I mean, I haven't even shown my face yet on YouTube, so I guess that right there kind of shows you that I am a fan of my privacy. And it's not that I don't trust you guys or anything like that. Well, actually, I don't know. It is the internet. I don't know who's out there, you know? Could be so many predators. But anyway, I'm just gonna get to the story. But real quick, the gameplay that you're seeing is just me goofing off a bit in some Saints Row 3, which is one of my all-time favorite games. Just pointing that out there. And I'm just driving around doing some missions and killing gangsters. You know, not doing any of the story, just goofing off in Saints Row 3. So that's what the gameplay is. I hope you enjoy it. And if it's a little framey or laggy, I do apologize for that. I've been having some issues with my OBS lately, which is what I use to record my software, because... well, which is the software I use to record stuff because I'm poor as crap. If you guys couldn't already tell. So, yeah, that's just a little side note. But anyway, let me get into the story. So, if you hear any squeaking, that is my dog. She has like separation anxiety or something. She always likes being at my feet, and I might accidentally step on her, and I always feel bad. But anyway, so the story that I want to tell you guys today is this little story that happened to me back in 5th grade. And in 5th grade, this was quite a while ago. When I was younger, my family, we moved around a lot. We moved from state to state because I live in the U.S., for those of you who couldn't tell. I may have a bit of a British accent, but I do live in the U.S. And my family and I, we moved state to state to state to state. And this happened when I was in this current state that I'm in when I was at 5th grade. Now, when you reach at least at my school, when we started to get to the end of 5th grade, my school was like, you know what? We gotta start hyping you guys up for middle school, because you're gonna be the big bad 6th grader soon, and you're gonna be at the top of the barrel, which, trust me, you're not the top of the barrel when you're a 6th grader. In fact, I would actually say being a 5th grader is 20 times better than being a 6th grader, because 6th graders just suck, I'm just gonna say it. But anyway, so this is when I was in 5th grade. My school, it was near the end of the year, and my school was like, you know what, we gotta start giving these kids advice on life, and we obviously need to tell them everything. So they decided to show us in the last couple of weeks of school, they decided to show us the video. Now, if you went to an American public elementary school, you probably already know what I mean by the video. It's quite traumatizing the very first time you see it, especially as an itty-bitty little 5th grader. But for those of you who don't know, the video is basically this video about puberty. It's usually really cheesy. Like, I've seen pornos that have much better quality than what most videos about puberty talk about. Like, the quality is awful. Video quality sucks. The acting sucks. And it was just, oh man, everything from that video could easily fit into a cringe compilation, I swear. So, they showed us this really old sketchy video, and it was a VHS tape. So, that just lets you know just how much worse it is, because it was an old school VHS. So basically how it happened is that, you know, they had be a little assembly, and they were like, okay guys, you know, we're gonna split the guys up and the girls up. You guys are both gonna go off and do your own thing and watch, you know, each separate video. And they must have had multiple copies of each video, all on VHS, of course. So, all the boys got scurried off into one side of the school, because this was a really weird, small, box school. It was a really small school, really small, and really old. So, if the water was those rusty water. It was an old sketchy school. Let's just leave it at that. Probably why they had VHS tapes. So all the girls went off to one side of the school, and the boys went off to the opposite side. And it was only the 5th grade boys, 5th grade girls. Only 5th grade boys and 5th grade girls. So we all went off, And for whatever reason, instead of like having it be like the PE teacher or the nurse or something, you know, the school medical administrator, they decided to have the art teacher come on in and be like, yo, I'm gonna give you guys a video. So the art teacher comes in and he brings out one of those really old school projectors. And he puts in the video. And you know, all these kids were just kind of all goofing off. You know, we don't really care. We don't really know what to expect from it yet. And I was hanging out with this one group of kids. And you know, most of the kids in the group, they weren't really noteworthy to the story, except for this one Asian kid. And no racism intended. He was Asian. I'm not gonna say his real name, just sort of like, you know, privacy's sake. So we're just gonna say that his name is Anthony, which is actually, I would say, fairly close to his real name. So, you know, it's just me sitting at this table with this kid named Anthony and a couple of other friends, just kind of goofing off, just talking to each other, you know, doing typical dumb 5th grader things. And if I'm a little sniffly, I'm sorry, it's allergy season. Whew. But anyway, so, you know, while just kind of goofing off, I'm just sitting with Anthony and his friends, and the art teacher, he pulls out the VHS tape and he puts it in, and it turns out he grabbed the wrong VHS tape. And a little side note with VHS tapes, for those of you who don't know, with VHS tapes, if you don't rewind them after you finish watching them, they will pick off from the point that you left off on. That's just how they work. So the art teacher, he put in the VHS tape, but it turns out it was the wrong one, and he ended up accidentally putting in the girl video instead. And what happened is, someone didn't rewind it all the way when they stopped watching it, so it did this full pan, very detailed drawing of the female body. Just a naked woman basically just panned down onto the screen for all these boys to see. And I'll never forget, Anthony, he looks over at the screen, because he wasn't really paying attention, and he heard everyone going oohing and eyeing. So he looks over at the screen, and he jumps. He like does this little double take, he jumps, and he falls out of his chair because he was just so shocked by this full portrait of the naked female body. And it was hilarious. We all were laughing at him. So the art teacher, you know, he starts like cussing a little bit, you know, not too loud, but you know, looking back on it, we could probably tell, you know, that he was cussing up a lot, but you know, he was just keeping it in. So he went and he basically, you know, took out the video quickly. He was like, oh, god damn it, just, you know, just cussing up a little bit. And he put the video away, and he got the right video, the guide video, and he put it in. And this one was it was fully rewinded, so it was all good. And this video, my god, it was so awful. I can't even exaggerate how awful the quality was. Like, I'm talking, we got like 240p was like the top quality we could get out of that video. It was like 240p, if even. Really kind of like just blurry, gritty, just ugly, typical VHS quality. And it was just, for whatever reason, they decided that we had to have characters in the movie that we had to, like, relate to or whatever. I don't even know, but there was, like, characters. And it was just this stereotypical white kid with the brown hair, bowl haircut. His name was, like, he had, like, a super white name, like, Jonathan, he was, like, Jonathan Johnson, something like that. Just super stereotypical white boy, like the kind of white kid that would go up to a school and shoot it. Like that kind of white kid we're talking about here. Like it was just so bad. It was so stereotypical, and I'm pretty sure, you know, he was like there were like no black people in the video. I think there was one Asian and one Hispanic, but I don't remember any black kids in the video. But I don't know. It was 5th grade. It was a while ago. But then, so what happened from then is, so the video starts with like Jonathan Smith or whatever the hell his name was. You know, he's going through, and you know, it's like there's a whole plot and everything to this video. There's a plot to it. It ain't just, you know, oh yes, you know, this is what's gonna happen to you in a year or two, or this could be happening to you now for you poor sons of bitches who got that early puberty, like my friend did. One of my best friends got early puberty. Sucks to suck him, right? But anyway. So the video is just going on, and, you know, instead of just giving us to it straight, they had to make a little story out of it, with the protagonist and everything, and the antagonist was obviously puberty. So, you know, there's this, like, this thing with, like, the school, like, they're doing, like, this not family photo, this classroom photo, and our hero, Jonathan, goes in, and he goes in, he's standing next to this girl that he has a crush on, and, you know, he tries to snap the picture, he's standing next to her, and he ends up popping a boner. And it was like, the first time he's ever popped a boner, so he's so shocked and horrified at what's going on, and so confused. And, you know, he looks down, and it's like, oh my god, he looks down, and he's all shocked. He's got a boner, and they take the picture, and it's like, oh, I get it, you know, we're supposed to relate to this guy. You know, I know that I've popped many a boner during classroom pictures, so I'm obviously, you know, it obviously was captured on film, so I gotta be embarrassed about it. You know, relatable, right? Relatable. Well, anyway, so the story goes on, and, you know, ends up like this. He ends up later having like this really weird dream. Like, this video, they started with like the sex first. They didn't start in like with most videos do, where it's like, okay, you're gonna sweat a lot, you're gonna get acne. Nah, they were just like, you know what? Boom, sex. We're gonna start in with the sex, because that's the most important part about puberty, obviously. So what happens is, you know, Jonathan, you know, he has this really actually quite creepy dream that ends up being a wet dream or whatever. And he goes in, he's like, oh shit, you know, wet dream. And, you know, he walks in, he starts fapping it off into the bathroom or whatever, starts jerking it. And his brother walks in and is like, whoa. And, I mean, his brother could have been a Nazi, I swear to God. He was like the whitest, blondest, bluest-eyed kid I ever saw in my life. So, you know, he goes in and, you know, he's like, you know, Jonathan, it's totally normal to masturbate. You know, it's okay if you jerk it off every now and then. And, you know, Jonathan's all like, oh, thanks, Daniel. You're so great. Right, hi. Or whatever. I don't know. So, while this is going on, while the little conversation about masturbation's going on, there was this kid, this blonde kid in my class, he was a menace. Every teacher hated him. Like, there's always like that one kid that your teacher's just like, you know that your teacher, if they could kill him, if they could kill him and get away with it, they totally would. Well, this kid was this kid, and again, I'm gonna keep his name private, so not gonna say anything, but we're just gonna say his name is Cody. Crazy Cody, yeah, Crazy Cody. This is Crazy Cody that we're dealing with here. He was sitting in the very back of the class, and he was actually paying pretty close attention. But then, for whatever reason, I shit you not, he whispers out, and I hear it, because I'm sitting near the back, too, with Anthony and all his friends. Asian Anthony. He whispers, you can't hold hands with Jesus if you're masturbating. Like, legit, he says that. And I'm just like, boy? What? Like, I didn't get it at the time, really. Because, you know, little 5th grade me. But looking back on it, I was like, what the hell? Why would somebody even say that? But, you know, that's good old Crazy Cody for you. And every teacher hated him. Like, I swear, every single teacher hated him. They hated his guts. Poor Cody. But anyway, so the video goes on, and they finally, you know, they do this whole diagram of the penis. You know, like, up here's what the ball sack does, and, you know, that's the hooter. That's the mushroom top, you know, all that. They don't actually use those analogies, but I think that, you know, if they did, it'd be a lot more enjoyable. So that happens, you know, they give us the full definition of all the genitals and what it's all gonna do, and yada yada yada, what's gonna happen, and it's totally normal, you know, comforting us, because obviously we're all gonna be terrified the first time we come, because why not? So then what happens is they finally get off the sex, and they move on to, like, stuff about sweat and acne. And, you know, that's pretty tame. You know, they had some really disgusting pictures of acne, but besides that, you know, it was pretty normal. And then, you know, so the video ends, and, you know, the lights are turned back on. You know, there's a slight sigh of relief among the masses. And so the video, it ends, and the teacher, you know, he puts it away, and for whatever reason, he just decides that we should start playing Puberty Jeopardy. Or as I just called it back then, you know, Penis Bingo, but it was Jeopardy. It was Jeopardy-style game. And so, you know, we all have these, with the tables that we're sitting at, there are teams, and, you know, he gives us all these just random names. And so we're playing the Jeopardy game, and then for whatever reason, you know, my group, I was with Anthony, we were not paying attention at all, and, you know, the art teacher, he did the stereotypical thing that art teachers do, where he's like, oh, well, you know, yada yada yada, you guys are talking, so you obviously know the answer. And it's like, well, no, we don't, but... So, for whatever reason, Anthony just decides to yell out penis. He just goes, penis! He just yells it out, just penis! And we got the question right. We like, legit, I'm not shitting you at all, none of this is made up. He yelled it out, penis, and we got the question right. Never in my long years of being in school have I ever been able to yell out the word penis and get the question right, you know? Never. It's never happened to me. Yeah, then Anthony goes ahead and does it, and boom, he gets you know, like 400 points for our team, and we don't win, but you know, hey, we got points, you know. And it was because he just yelled out penis. And so after that, you know, they you know, school was about to end. There was like 5-10 minutes left of school, so you know, like, they're like, okay, you guys did great, and they hand out these little booklets that you know you would normally see like Mormons carrying around, you know. So they hand out these booklets, and they're like, here, this is a complete guide to puberty, basically, and it was the stupidest thing. So they hand us the booklets, and we're just like, oh, well, okay, you know, alrighty. And we're reading through the booklets, and you know, there's all the diagrams and stuff, and I'm just like, ugh. So I don't know why I went. I think I probably threw it away. I don't know. All the other kids were like making paper airplanes out of it and throwing it. So you know, all the kids start going back to class, and one of the funniest things I remember is that when all the girls came back into class, a decent 9 or 10 of them looked horrified. Like they weren't talking like they normally did, you know, none of the normal gossip or, you know, being the typical 5th grade girly girl. They were just like horrified. They were just silent. What do you want, dog? I hear you squeaking. So like the girls, they were just horrified. It was like they just witnessed like a puppy or a cow getting like butchered right in front of them. That's what their face looked like. They just looked like they got taken to the slaughterhouse, and they just had to watch like 20 cows bite the dust to make those Happy Meals that they normally eat. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. It was just, I thought it was I just kind of thought it was an interesting experience. Because, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's the normal thing that happens when you watch the video in 5th grade for the first time. And, of course, they had to show us the video 2 more times, you know, in 6th grade and 7th grade. And, I had a pretty interesting story about the 7th grade one, but I can save that for another episode, because we're already getting close to 20 minutes here, and I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I've probably already gone on too long, you know, too in-depth. But, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little story. I didn't make any of it up. It all happened. It was a very weird experience that I'm still not sure about to this day. I try to look at it with a more positive light, but you know, somebody probably could have gotten like arrested for something for all the shit that went down in that video. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. You know, gives you a little insight. And if you guys like these kind of videos, if you guys like me telling some of my personal stories, I'll be happy to tell more. And if you got a couple of interesting stories about, you know, the puberty video yourself, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. You know, I won't judge. I think it'll be quite funny. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you want to see more, you know, don't be afraid to tell me. Just be like, yeah, we want to hear more, and I'll totally do it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. My dog's now biting me. Ow, I think I'm bleeding. Yeah, I'm bleeding now. Thanks, puppers. Alrighty, I'm gonna go before the dog eats me alive. Bye!